Welcome back to Lego Battlebots Season 3. I know it's been a while, and I know I do this to you guys every year, but anyway, we are back, and for the final fight card of the first round, we have 8 more fights, and the first of which is a battle between Monochrome and Extinguisher. Two very capable bots. Monochrome went to the round of 16 in its rookie season last year, and lost to eventual quarterfinalist Nemesis in what was one of the best fights of the entire season. Meanwhile, Extinguisher redeemed himself and proved it belonged in the playoffs, going 3-1 only to fall to Siege Engine in the round of 16. So two very similar bots, but Monochrome has more weight and is a bigger weapon. But it's all going to come down to see who gets underneath, because both bots could win this fight if they get underneath, because neither of them can self-rights. Let's see what happens between these two down the arena.
Here we go.
Let the bot battle begin. Both bots go up. It's Monochrome who gets underneath, flipping over Extinguisher. That was a big shot there. Extinguisher now in the corner. This is not going well for them to start. As they get guys on the arena, Monochrome flips Extinguisher and throws them out of the arena. Oh my goodness, Monochrome got the low ground, and as predicted, once they got it, they dominated, only landing a couple of shots to throw Extinguisher out of the arena and move to 1-0. Next up, we have a battle between Same Day Delivery and Crypt. Now, both of these spots have matching records, and both bots went 2-2 in both seasons 1 and 2, so two very seemingly mediocre bots for the past 2 seasons, looking to prove that they can indeed compete and do well and make the tournament. And these are, oh, I forgot to, oh well. But anyways, his Crypt has a very powerful weapon, a horizontal sphere, not a drum spinner. I forgot to change that, but it cannot self-right. Same Day Delivery has a decently powerful lifter and can easily self-right, but has a fairly weak ground game. But that shouldn't really be a problem here against a bot focused on overhead attack like Crypt. Anyways, let's find out what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Crypt spins up, and Same Day Delivery rams them into the wall. That blade really didn't do anything, and Same Day Delivery gang them out of the arena. What a quick fight. Same Day Delivery absorbed one blow from Crypt, and they just had to get one lift to throw them out of the arena. Impressive performance by the lifter. Our third fight is something that has never been seen on actual BattleBots, a fight between two Waiachi machines, Son of Waiachi and Hydra. Now, Son of Waiachi has not done incredibly well. It didn't even get a 4th fight in Season 1, and then went decently at 2-2 in Season 2. And as for Hydra, they are a rookie machine. They defeated a redesigned endgame in the final Challengers match to get the final spot in Season 3. Now, Son of Waiachi still has a very powerful weapon, but that reliability has always been an issue for them. They just can't stay together. Meanwhile, Hydra has a very powerful flipper as well. It suffers reliability issues with those forks, and even though it's using a wedge, that durability still could be a huge problem. Let's see what happens down in the arena between these two Waiachi bots. Let the bot battle begin, and there goes the wedge in the first shot. That's what Hydra was worried about, the durability of those things, maintaining its ground clearance. But now Son of Waiachi has a tough bot to break through. Hydra does have the backup plan. That flipper is still incredibly hard to rip off, and that frame is also incredibly tough. Hydra trying to close in, trying to get the flips, but with that configuration, they don't have the reach on that flipper to real animated shot. But there goes the connecting bars for Son of Waiachi, and they're already starting to take damage. Their reliability issues really appearing again in this fight. That's a massive shot, and again, oh, and one of the bars of Sonachi is starting to come, and there it goes. Oh my goodness. Hydra now flipping Sonachi over, and Sonachi is just falling apart and now standing up. The main chassis completely off the ground. The countdown has started, and Hydra will weather the storm against Sonachi and claim a knockout victory. Well, worries came for Hydra immediately as that wedge was violently ripped off, and Sonachi has continued to land brutal shots, but Hydra is an incredibly durable machine after you rip off everything relating to its ground clearance. And that showed here. They took shot after shot while Sonachi's reliability issues reared their ugly head yet again as the bot just fell apart after enough exchanges. And that allowed Hydra to come in, get underneath, land the flip they were looking for. And while this wasn't really a flashy fight for Hydra, it was a good solid win against an okay bot to kick off their season. Now they're probably going to have some tougher competition moving forward, but this was a good start to the season to get the win while they can. As for Sonachi, they just really need to win at least 2 of their next fights in order to make the tournament. Our 4th fight is a battle between Bombshell and Riptide. These 2 bots had identical records last season, going 2-3. Making it to the round of 32 before being knocked out by powerful horizontal spinners, Bombshell by Bloodsport and Riptide by Nemesis. As while Bombshell hasn't had any upgrades, Riptide has had a heavy frame upgrade that should decrease the weakness in its reliability, while still maintaining the incredible power of that weapon that nearly annihilated Hydra shot. Bombshell also has a very powerful weapon, but also can't self-right. I mean, neither can Riptide. 2 bots with very similar strategies, but only one's going to come out 1-0. Let's see who it is down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Riptide gets a little shot on Bombshell, but doesn't really manage to do anything. Oh my, what a shot there. And oh my goodness, this fight is already over. Riptide with a dominant performance, only needing 3 shots to get Bombshell out of the arena. What a performance. Coming up next is a battle between Huge and Switchback. Both of these bots had very similar performances last season, going 3-1, qualifying for the tournament in their final fight. And then they got very similar seeds. Huge, I believe, was 24, I believe. Switchback was 23. And then both bots got beaten pretty badly. Monochrome defeated Switchback while Thunderbolt defeated Huge. Both bots have decent durability, but Huge really lacks knockout power, and Switchback has also struggled to land some decent shots as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how these 2 bots interact in the arena, so let's go down there and find out. Let the bot battle begin. Switchback's drum seems to be getting underneath the frame of Huge, and that's going to allow them to pop up Huge. And just like that, now they're using that arm that the drum is mounted on as a sort of lifter, and they've gotten Huge into the screws. So far, Switchback in control, but it's not too long into this fight, so anything can happen still. Huge struggling to get off of the screws now. And there they go, now they get off. But now, the 2 bots go weapon to weapon again. And again. Some devastating, well, not really devastating, but some little hits between the 2 competitors so far. Been about, probably not about a minute into this fight quite yet. But now Switchback really starting to get some control. Trying to smacking that drum into the eye of Huge. And oh, there goes the other eye. Switchback's drum causing the first real damage in this fight. Let's see if any more progress. Oh, that was a great shot by Huge. Not by Huge, by Switchback, and another one. Oh, what a shot that sent Huge really spinning there. Now, I didn't really hear the great noise out of Switchback's drum there. But they seem to be okay. Huge is decently high on points, and so Switchback should maintain this lead. And as Switchback just continues to land shots with that drum and just maintain control. Huge trying to find something. And there you can see the drum bouncing off of the wedge there. Yeah, that drum is not exactly as it should be. Huge has found its damage, and Switchback is really going to struggle to do anything. This just got drawn out. Huge is a master of drawing out fights and winning them late. Saw that last season, especially against Rotator, and we're seeing it here against a much more destructive opponent. And Switchback has to be worried about the judges, but they still have a decent lead. They're still the more controlling bot. Huge's aggression and the damage caused to Switchback. This could cause some serious problems should this fight go to the judges, but there's another push by Switchback onto Huge in the screws. It's probably one of the best Huge fights that might go to a judge's decision we've had. Huge does now escape, and you can definitely tell that drum is damaged. Switchback half the time isn't even trying to spin anymore. And that damage to the drum could very well cost him. Huge once again in the screws, and this looks like it's gonna be it. This battle will go to a judge's decision, and this is a tough fight to call. My goodness. For the starting portion of the fight, it was Switchback easily in control, getting Huge into the screws several times and using that drum to really pop Huge up and throw them around. You can definitely tell that Switchback was in control, definitely looking dominant. He also ripped off the two eyes of Huge, and that gave him the starting damage points. So at the beginning, it really looked like Switchback was gonna easily take this fight, even if it went to the judges, because due to it having control in all three categories. But that is the shot that changed the fight. Switchback's drum was never fully the same after that, and while it took a little bit to really show what damage had been caused, it was obvious that Switchback's drum had taken some serious damage, and that alone is the reason why Huge is in this fight. Both bots slammed into each other a lot, and Switchback had control, but the damage caused to Switchback's weapon that really caused it to not function properly, this could be the singular reason why Huge wins this fight. It's still an incredibly tight battle, and it's going to be very difficult to decide. It's surprisingly good for a Huge fight, but we're going to see what the judges have to say about this one, who goes to 1-0, and that could be critical for both bots' seasons. The winner by an 8-7 judge decision is Huge. Next up is Cherry Blossom versus Blip, and this is not a very good matchup for Blip. Blip thrives on very light bots that don't really have a good ground game, and Cherry Blossom is one of the heaviest bots in the competition and has cheese slope forks, and is also an incredibly dangerous weapon. So Blip's gonna have to get a miracle in order to win this fight. If Cherry Blossom just survives, then he'll be able to just tear Blip apart because Blip can't take shots. And those forks just fall off on their own, so what's that big pink weapon gonna do? We'll see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, there goes a fork of Cherry Blossom and an eye of Blip. And there goes the other eye. Cherry Blossom already doing some damage. but are really not reaching the main chassis. And Blip pins Cherry Blossom into the corner near the pit, but just can't get underneath him. Cherry Blossom is just too heavy of a bot for that to happen, apparently. But there goes one of the forks of Blip. This fight is almost over. Cherry Blossom just needs to get off that other fork, and they've just won this fight. And now Blip trying to put in an effort, trying to get Cherry Blossom in the screws, and they do have them upside down. And there's a flip, but yeah, Cherry Blossom is just too heavy for Blip to really lip properly. But now they're in the screws again, and this is a very bad position for Cherry Blossom. They're in the perfect position for Blip to flip, and they did it! Unbelievable! You know, this was a matchup that was basically guaranteed for Cherry Blossom on paper, but anything can happen in the arena, and that is what we saw again here. And Cherry Blossom did some damage early, and he was able to get off one of the forks, but they just didn't have the reach with their weapon in order to knock out any important components of Blip. And Blip absolutely capitalized on that, showing their experience. They did whatever they could to try and get Cherry Blossom upside down and gain as much control, and they did try a couple flips, but that didn't quite work. They didn't get Cherry Blossom out of the arena. But they did manage to get Cherry Blossom onto the screen for a second time and got them upside down in a perfect position so that when they self-righted, they got stuck on Blip's flipper, and Blip threw them down the pit. What a performance by Blip, and what a first win. Our penultimate match sees Flipper Lucky take on Full Body Spinner Gigabyte, two bots all the way back from Season 1. They made it to the round of 16 in that same season, but they had very different Season 2 performances. Lucky didn't do as well, making it to the round of 32, but it did make the playoffs with a 3-1 record. However, Gigabyte had one of the worst records in the entire season, going 1-3. They were only one of 3 1-3 bots to not have to fight for their spot in this entire season. We'll see if they're able to deserve that. But Lucky is fairly durable to horizontal attacks. Its vertical is what it really worries about with that one piece in the back. Gigabyte is just not really reliable, so it's pretty advantageous for Lucky in this fight. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the arena. I mean, Blip just beat Cherry Blossom, so Gigabyte could just rip Lucky apart. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, jeez. Gigabyte lands a serious shot, and that hurt Lucky. That flipper is not working as it should, at least to start this fight. We've seen bots get put back together by hits. We'll have to see if Lucky's one of those bots. It seems to be like that flipper is working normally again. Yeah, it's definitely a lot looser. And there goes the self-righter of Gigabytes. And this fight is not going well for really either of these bots. Gigabyte and Lucky are taking the shots. Not really any damage besides the self-righter loss to either bot. It's going to come down to a war of attrition to see who can withstand the other's blows for a long period of time. Lucky almost got a flip attempt in there, but Gigabyte was able to slip away. There's another shot that sends Lucky spinning. And this is just watered down Hydra versus Son of Waiachi. I'm gonna be real here. This is like fairly similar to what happened in that fight. And now Lucky is trying to get Gigabyte boxed into the corner. They starting to do it well, and there's the flip they're looking for, and that's gonna be it. Lucky absorbs the blows from Gigabyte, though that shot really could have caused some serious problems if Gigabyte didn't force Lucky back together. And if that kind of damage had kept up, this would have been a clean Gigabyte victory. But Lucky stood tall and just absorbed the blows after, got put back together, ripped the self-righter, just came off of Gigabyte, and shot after shot from the Gigabyte really couldn't do anything to slow Lucky down. Eventually, Lucky was able to box Gigabyte into that corner, and that allowed them to get the flips they need and throw Gigabyte out of the arena. It's a tough match, but it's a good win for Lucky. As for Gigabytes, they're starting off 0-1, and they really need to figure out what's going on. And now it is time for our final main event of the first round, and it is an amazing one. It's the defending champion Sawblaze taking on the reigning third place Mannerheim. And Mannerheim, it may look a little different, it may look a little shorter, and that's because it is. The bot was shortened to decrease just how heavy that bot was, and also to provide more room for the flipper to increase weapon power, which should solve the main weakness it had last season, which was that low weapon power. And but Sawblaze is also an incredible control bot that also lacks weapon power, but these are two bots. This could just be a preview of the finals. These are some of the best machines in the field, but one of them has got to win this first fight. We'll see what happens down the arena. Let the main event begin. That's Mannerheim getting underneath Sawblaze to kick things off. A little flip. Not really showing much of that supposedly improved weapon power to start. But there's Mannerheim getting underneath again, throwing Sawblaze over. The defending champion really needs to get around the sides. Oh, there's a great flip. There goes the middle fork of Sawblaze. Oh my goodness, there's the weapon power we've been waiting for. And that's gonna be it. It's a bit of a slow build-up, but Mannerheim really showed what it was capable of here. Sawblaze just could not get underneath, even with a reduced weight. Mannerheim just lands some minor flips just to keep us like not really on guard. And there's a decent flip that sent Sawblaze into a somersault. But here was the flip that really proved this wrong, sending Sawblaze out of camera range. That flip was violent and personal. Well, Sawblaze was just sent right out of the arena. What a win for Mannerheim.